What's up, YouTube? So you want to know who would serve our economy better, Donald Trump or Kamala Harris? Well, I'm going to tell you what US News has to say, and from their perspective. Now, it doesn't matter whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, somebody's going to end up being our president, and who's going to benefit us the most in that position running the country. So, guys, follow along with me. But before I get started, what's up, guys? I'm Corey, and welcome to my channel, Let's Talk with Corey. If this is your first time tuning in, hit that subscribe button. But before I get into it, wherever you are in the world today, I mean wherever you are in the world today, I really do hope you're having a great day. And as I said before, this article comes from usnews.com. The economy under Trump versus Harris. Throughout much of Joe Biden's time in the White House, inflation, that means the cost of goods and services, have been extremely high, has been the dominant economic issue that led to many Americans failing to acknowledge the other aspects of Biden's economic agenda: a robust labor market with massive job gains and low unemployment, and improvement in the economic standing of low-income workers, and huge investments in green energy, infrastructure, and domestic manufacturing. But it was persistent inflation and the cumulative effect of rising prices that kept Biden's poll numbers weak, and combined with a perception that he was too old for another term, forced him to withdraw from the 2024 presidential campaign. Former President Donald Trump has his own economic record to stand on from his time in office, and it is one that was marked by a huge tax cut, deregulation of industry, and trade wars with economic competitors, most notably China. As Trump is doubling down on his first term highlights, promising more of the same, and also adding in mass deportation of immigrants who may be in the country illegally. Most economists believe an increased supply of foreign-born workers has helped keep the labor market more balanced in the past year or so. So what y'all saying is more people coming to the country is helping with getting the jobs that nobody want here. Is that what y'all saying? But anyway, let me continue. Trump appears to be promising similar policies and actions if he's elected again, and whether markets reward or penalize him for that is anyone's guess, says Michael Bracia, CEO and co-founder of Ceres Markets. Academics and common sense might tell you higher tariffs and increased debt aren't good for stocks or the dollar. But equity markets brushed those concerns off during Trump's first term. Vice President Harris, now the presumptive Democratic standard bearer, will be tied to the Biden economic agenda. You heard that. It says, but she has begun to offer some ideas of her own, primarily an emphasis on family-friendly topics such as paid leave and child care support. Those are good. Allies say she is trying to put a more human face on the issues that working families face, rather than engage in wonky policy debates. But any attempt at legislation will face opposition if Republicans hold the House or capture the Senate in November. So that's very important to note. Doesn't matter who's in office, the House and Senate still has a say-so. But anyway, it says Harris versus Trump on tax cuts. Trump is a believer in handing money to billionaires, something he has promised to do again if elected. In particular, he has said he favors lowering the corporate income tax rate to 15% from 21%. It was reduced to it in the first Trump administration. He said it did produce huge increases in executive pay and share buyback, says Michael Linden, former executive social director at the White House Office of Management and Budget. Nonetheless, lowering taxes on business and wealthy individuals has long been a cornerstone of Republican economics. Harris has promised to keep faith with the Biden promise that taxes would be raised on the wealthy, but in a way that those earning less than $400,000 would be spared any higher taxes. Nonetheless, she would have to find the money to pay for the expanded social programs. Harris versus Trump on tariffs. Trump used tariffs as a Colgate to get concessions in trade negotiations with China and other countries. But he is advocating for a much broader and across-the-board 10% tariffs on imported goods, with levels rising as high as 60% for some items and nations. Harris has not said much about tariffs, but the Biden administration did keep in place some of the tariffs from the Trump years. Okay, guys, hit that subscribe button if you like what I'm saying, because this is educating all of us on who better serves us in office in 2024. Harris versus Trump on deregulation and DEI. Trump was a proponent of taking the wraps off of the regulations that he said choked American industry. Biden reversed some of that, but a lot of the regulations are challenged in court, and so changes to policy takes time. So it further states that Trump promised to reverse a lot of the green energy subsidies and mandates that the Biden administration championed. The GOP has also chastised firms and Democrats for supporting policies that increase diversity, equity, and inclusion. DEI in the workplace, even referring to Harris' DEI hire. Companies have already backed off considerably from their commitments. Ironically, the GOP and Trump have criticized Biden and, by inference, Harris for holding back American energy producers, yet domestic oil production has reached a record during Biden's time in office. Harris versus Trump on inflation and monetary policy. In the first term, Trump singled out Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell for criticism, scolding him for not lowering interest rates quickly enough. He has also promised to take care of inflation and lowering interest rates, which the Fed controls, but has not said how he would do this. Okay? Saying it and doing it is two different things. More recently, he has said he is fine with Powell serving out his term. Biden has kept quiet about the Fed, and with the central bank set to cut rates later this year, the administration has tried to take credit for the downward trend in inflation over the last 12 months. While the GOP will try to tag Harris with being part of the inflation problem, she has not specifically addressed the issue other than to criticize corporations for their profiting off of higher prices. In general, she has shown support when she was in the Senate for more progressive economic policies, and could well appoint some more liberal-leaning folks to the Fed when vacancies arise. It says that if Trump wins, there will likely be increased issuance of treasuries to finance higher deficits to pay for any tax cuts. That in turn will offset some of the benefits to the economy from lower interest rates. However, markets may be underestimating the potential impact on inflation, monetary, and fiscal policy should Trump decide to double down on his more disruptive campaign pledges. The firm added, this could lead to unexpected market reactions down the road. In most extreme scenario, inflation could rise to 4% by 2025, with growth dropping to around 0% in 2025. So guys, that's a lot of good information coming from usnews.com. Hey guys, as always, thanks for the pull-up. Hit that subscribe button. Until the next time, let's talk with Corey. Whether you're a Republican or Democrat, let's talk with Corey out.